What's going on, YouTubers? Hope you're having a good start. I've been watching some videos here and there randomly about the gun community and the Second Amendment, and two videos that stand out recently that I've saw is one is from Nuttin Fancy. He did I think it was one of his most recent videos, maybe the last video, most current still, but go check that out. It's about an hour long, but he talks about reasons of why we're going to lose the Second Amendment. The second video that I've seen is from Colion Noir. He also did a video recently on, I think, the state of Virginia. So did Codaboard 32 as well. And it's apparent, the writing's on the wall, guys. We are going to see more gun persuasion or gun rules and laws and regulations in the near future. It may take a few years, it may take 5 years, 10 years, but those days are coming. And all I can tell you now is you just have to prepare and have to plan on things changing. And for some of you guys out there, you know, my age or older, you know, 5, 10 years may not make a difference to you, because you will be that much older and you may not be shooting guns anymore. Who knows, right? You just may physically not be into guns as much. You may not be able to go out and shoot guns as much. And so toward the end of your life, as everyone's life, it doesn't matter, or it won't matter as much anymore as it does today when you're in the fight. Because you know when that show is over for you and those lights go out, nothing else matters but those last few minutes with your loved ones. Hopefully you have loved ones. But all you can do is hopefully clear the path for the next generation. And that next generation is going to be harder to win over when it comes to the Second Amendment, because they're not into guns. There's less and less of them into guns. I'm not going to say all hope is lost, but there is less of them coming out of these institutions of schools, public schools. In today's society, it's all about social media and selfies and, you know, rainbows and unicorns. Guns don't matter to that generation that's here now, the younger generation. Most of them, not all of them, and it won't matter anymore, or it'll matter less to that following generation and so forth, unless you start sharing the love and passion and the desire and the fun and the hobby or the sport of shooting to that next generation. It's time that a lot of you guys out there stop being selfish. And I know you're going to say, what? Selfish? What do you mean? Stop being selfish with your guns. Stop being selfish with the idea that nobody else matters but you. And you're probably saying, well, what about you, Red? And you're right. I've always tried to make it a point to promote shooting when I was going for a while. I still have my guns. I just haven't gone and shot in a while. But whenever I went, I always try to make it fun. I always try to make it interesting. I always try to make it enjoyable by presenting videos online and through different platforms, and try to make it fun to where people see that and they're like, I want to go do that. And a lot of you say, well, I do that, and you may. I'm not discrediting you, just saying that if you're that much into shooting as I once was, and I got to get myself back into that. Now I'm into knife throwing. Is promote that and share that. I'm not saying go out and spend money on other people and pay for their bullets and let them shoot all your guns, but invite them to come out with you. Invite them to a competition match. Invite them to your farm or your land, or, you know, your local gun range. Don't be so selfish that, you know, you want to keep it a secret. And I know I like to go to my gun range, and I like when no one's there, because then I have the range for myself. It's something inside of you that says, this is mine, or I don't want to tell anyone because then a lot more people show up. The only way to continue the idea of the Second Amendment, the idea of arming yourself and defending yourself and not relying on the government or local police, is to promote it. When I hear people that I know don't own guns, not into guns, don't shoot guns, when I hear people say, I'm thinking about getting a permit, I'm thinking about getting a gun, I'm thinking about, all these mass shootings, I want to be able to protect myself. My response is, that's good. You should. I try not to push the envelope too much because I don't know how that person's going to react. If I say, oh yeah, I own this gun, I've shot that one, I do this, I do that, I carry sometimes, I have it in my vehicle, I have it on me right now. I'm very cautious as far as going too far if I don't know someone. But at least I encourage them and say, yeah, that's a good idea, you should do that. I had another video I did a couple of days ago. I never uploaded it, and I'm going to try to wrap this up because I don't like to go more than 5 minutes, and I'm already at 6 something. And that is, I want you to ask yourself this question, and ask yourself deeply: who, what people, what nationality, what group of people, what community, what religion, whatever you want to call them, what group of people are ruining the Second Amendment? Is it foreigners coming to this country that are leaving their countries, that are gun fested with violence, like the Middle East, and they want to come here, but they love America and they love everything that the idea is built on, but they don't like the Second Amendment? Is it the new generation, as I explained earlier, that is just not born into the gun culture and they have no idea and they're taught fear? Yet they play video games, right? We don't ban those. They like to see action movies, but we don't go and ban movies. Is it government? Is it politicians, that group of people, ruining the Second Amendment because they have no problem when they say, hey, you're going to be assigned armed guards, you're going to be assigned armed security at all times, or during these hours, or during this time when you're in office. Don't have a problem with those guys owning guns, but they have a problem with you owning a gun. The culture somewhere down the line got twisted. The culture down the line somehow got distorted, got twisted to the point where the idea of someone owning a gun or carrying a gun in a business location or out in public has been, tainted. And now, granted, I've seen other videos out there with like local city chairman boards or government hearings where people are saying, look, by you creating more laws, creating more rules and regulations and more background checks, it's not going to stop the criminal. And that is I think that is the key that we have to harp on, and that we need to investigate when you hear about these mass shootings. And granted, some of these guys go and get their guns legitimate, they go to the background, but all the other crimes, the smaller crimes, right, the shootings in Chicago, think about or ask yourself, how many of those shootings were the suspect, the unknown suspect or suspects, go out and shoot someone or kill someone? Do you think that they went and did the background check? Do you think that they went and went through all the checks and balances that the government lays down and says, hey, I'm going to get this gun legally even though I got a criminal background? No, they don't. They get it off the street. There is no way, and it's impossible for you to take away guns off the streets. I don't want to say ban guns, because they may accomplish that one day in the future, and God, I hope not, because all those freedom speech lovers, they're going to realize that the Second Amendment protects the First Amendment, and then you don't have freedom of speech, and there's no way to defend against that. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this up. Think about what I said. I'm not the most popular gun channel here, and I'm not the one that people will turn to ask questions, but I ask that you ask the question. Take care, guys.